So in Korea too, if you go now see 1930s, whether you will dress in that durumagi, right? Durumagi, the traditional outer garment, or durumagi, or wear the European suit, is your personal choice. So these 5 people were all famous writers. They wrote novels and poems. So this man, Lee Kwang-soo, is also here. So he insisted putting on that durumagi all his life. And he only had a hybrid dandism like this. And then this author, he is stylishly dressed, right? And then these women, these are interesting choices of modernized hanbok. So they all come to about calf area. They have ladies' shoes, but do you recognize this geometric pattern of textiles? So these were popular patterns in 1930s to make that sort of what is it? The what's the name of the dance? Do you know the Agatha Christie, the detective novelist? And then, you know, like in her novels and movies, you see a lot of ladies in a slim silhouette, right? And then, what's the name of that particular dress and dance? It's not the cha-cha dance or not a tango. There is like a 1920s, like a Art Deco style patterns, like a geometric patterns. So, you know, in Europe or in the US, we, Nancy?
The Charleston?
Charleston.
Yeah, in the 20s, right?
Yeah, I think so, right.
Yeah.
Sort of a, you know, slim silhouette. It looks sort of almost like a columns, right? Like a waist a little bit down, but dresses are usually made of thin garments, right? Like, and then a lot of slashes or sometimes a pleats, so that when you swirl around or dance around, that it, you know, it becomes the full circle. Anyhow, so those geometric patterns were used for women's dresses, but in Korea, like they are modern women in a way. They are well-educated modern women, so they only got the jackets with that women's dress textile and have these geometric shapes. So they were outstanding as opposed to this white, just patternless shirt. So they are sort of a fashionable people of their own time, like 1930s. Or another family photographs of Lee Kwang-soo. He's from a very good family, and he was a college professor and author, very much respected. So in this case, his wife is still in traditional clothes, but eldest son, maybe age, let's say 12, 13, right? Almost the father's height. He's in that typical boys' school uniform. And then other children are in their traditional Korean garment. So these are all hybridity that I am talking about. And also in Japan, this is one caricature images of second-class train passengers. So second-class meaning their social economic status are rather mixed, not the first class. So overwhelmingly Japanese people, right? But then some people have European style clothes. But this gentleman at the end, this is a great example of hybridity. So he has the full kimono underneath, but this particular coat is called Niju Mawashi. It's called Niju Mawashi. The reason this is different from this is haori, the regular coat. But this one, the color has a European coat color. But because the garment inside is not the shirt and pants, it's a kimono, so that they made the sleeve extremely large. And then the cut, like for the body part, is also a little different. So it's a combination of European color with the Japanese haori, that jacket. So that's the example of men's coat. But kimono is usually made of silk. So it's a little heavy, and then it has a little shimmering, like a polished surface. But woolen fabric, more and more, people like that subdued colors, and they are lighter, relatively lighter than silk, but they are very warm in the wintertime. So this is also made of that woolen textiles. So in China too, if you see a busy street in Shanghai in 1910, some Chinese gentlemen are impeccably dressed with a hat and coat, and then there is a suit underneath, versus this man is a wealthy man, but has a hybrid fashion, has a long, like a chipao, right, and then a hat, versus workers, they have the traditional garment, Chinese workers' garment, and different type of hat. So this is an example of advertisement of woolen coats by Japanese dry good. And this one is exactly the hybrid fashion that you saw on the street photograph. So you have that traditional hanbok inside, and then you have a cot outside. And then this is not the walking stick. This is actually tobacco pipe, traditional ones. So a rural gentleman also needs an overcoat because it's warm for the winter time. So they advertise this, that it's only made for Joseon people, like Korean people.